Вітаю тебе з поверненням, це знову Sherlock Holmes, Chapter 1. Я, виявляється, не всіх допитав, ось ще одна є.
I'm
Підозрювана.
Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Відчуваю.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Угу.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Роздивитись. Ну, вона наче засмучена, хоча, можливо, вона акторка і файна. Окультне татуювання. Ага. Ну, все ясно, це вона його вбила. Обгризані нігті. А, можливо, вона його не вбила, а проводила ритуал, щоб оживити його, але він вже був мертвий. Хтось того вбив. Старі та загоєні порізи. А, залишилась від Тавра. А, рабинею була, так? Рабиня. Гематоми. З'явились нещодавно. Що, ноги, так? Ну, а вже ж. Шрам від кайданів. Края себе за минуле, не асоціює себе із своїм тілом. Рабини. Ні, вона не асоціює себе, бо вона казала, та то лише оболонка.
You have both old and new scars. Some from the time when you were a slave with Fabio. Other scars have a different origin. The guests pay good money to torment you?
I am skilled in giving pleasure, but I don't participate in such practices.
I thought your body was...
For sale? It's true. Many unwanted things were done to my body. And the pain helped me to discover...
Occult deities? Yes, the tattoo speaks loudly of it.
Yes. Your gods abandoned me, and the ones I favor now are more protective of me.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Cordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time.
Типу це
Until today.
пилюка із стріхи. Звідки у вас синці?
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite. Sometimes.
Ну ти даєш. Так не можна насправді, але... Оу. Аж зависло. Да, всі поспіль будемо давати.
I've nothing to say. I don't know what to say.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchos?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchos?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to add. I don't know what to say.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is really so lazy.
If you say so.
Що ви практикуєте, та?
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
100% тобі кажу, вона його намагалась оживити. Його хтось вбив до того. Вона не видна, але вона це його. Їй добре мозок промили. Прям дуже добре. Ха. О! Гості. Сила кохання. Неможливо, а провела. Все інше не підходить. А, може й підійде. Синці на тілі залишив Фабіо, залишили гості. Якщо так, то вона винна. Але ні. Але якщо дивись, хопа. Хопа. І хопа. А, тоді нічого не підходить, слухай. О. Ха. А воно ще так не підходить. Тому ритуал був прикриттям. А це взагалі ні на що не впливає. Це буде складно. Я це все питав у неї.
I know I can handle the news.
І що? Якийсь висновок є з того? Хизи. Так, я прийшов до художника цвинтарного.
I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchos.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
touché.
Тюшей. Не знаю, що я роблю. Перекидаю місцями сцени. Так, є ще ось. Nothing
I'm not
to
supposed to
say.
know anything about this.
Довідка.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
Заповіт.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
Нема сенсу.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
Ключі.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
О!
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor.
Угу.
He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Ага. Що в мене є? Лист від Фабіо. В'язаний Фогель. Добре, знаєте до кого можна сходити? До цього. Він в архіві сидить. Здоров.
Continue our investigation
Ні,
while I look
не
at the
можна.
papers.
Wald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained bores. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after all.
I need to examine you first.
Коротше, знайшов ще одного. Бігав по в'язниці. Косметикою користується. Ну він, коротше, вбивці. Висіп під фарби. Фарбоване волосся. Фарбований лис. Мив руки поспіх. Кров на руках було. Ти спалився. Приховує свій вік. Обожнює чистоту. Не обожнює, а швидко мив.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to adapt.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient, or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
Ким був Фабіо?
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Розказуй про вечірку.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Кого ви запрошуєте? Кому ви запросили Фогеля?
Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say or hear.
I suppose I can't argue with...
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
Ну і кого ще ви запрошуєте?
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true labourers, I see.
Так, докази тобі даю. Погнали.
You'd better ask someone else.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high. That's not something I know much about.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
Huh.
That's not something I know much
Forbidden
about.
забуття, forbidden
I've read the
заборонені.
letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
От ти який скотиняка.
That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. I've
Це-
no idea about that.
Заява свідка.
Of course, it was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police.
Коротше, це ти. Ти на всіх скидуєш, це ти.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon also. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Ти його вбив. Все коротше. Справа розкрита. А вона хотіла його оживити. Це розслідування поліції. Манкіос підготувався до вакханалії. Вбивця змив із себе кров. Опа. Умивався після вбивства. І все на нього зараз піде. Огеля не відпускають через лист. Ось бреше. Манкіос. О, все зараз на нього скинемо. Хоп-хоп. Це. Фабіо вбивця. Убив у стані афекту. Сексуальний маньяк. Ну, на нього це схоже насправді. Ув'язнення буде достатньо, адже смерть його коханого набагато суворіше покарання. Але отут нічого не сходиться. Якщо сказати, що це був ритуал, сказати, що це залишив Фабіо, не підходить, що так. Тому що ось так. Ось так. Що так тоді не підходить. І в мене достатньо цих доказів. Ага, отак. Фабіо. Опа! Убивця Матиста. Зломлена душа, убивця окультистка. Бляха. І той міг вбити, я тобі серйозно кажу. Але, ну, я прям не знаю, що робити. Давай її спочатку, а потім того маньячідлу. Матиста породження життя повного страждань. Вона не розуміє різниці між добром і злом. Вона хотіла, щоб її коханий Фабіо був завжди з нею. Матиста заслуговує на допомогу у психіатричній лікарні. Вона отримає лікування і залишить минуле позаду. Давай, подивимось. Що, йдемо фіналить, коротше. Подивимось, що воно з того буде. А, тоді подивимось, що буде здоров.
Continue our investigation while I look
А,
for the
їй
papers.
треба піти їй, так. Сказати їй, що ти заарештована. Все. Здоров. Погнали.
Matista,
Промокай,
you
Лесо.
killed Fabio during the ritual.
What? No! I could never.
Ви провели ритуал. Ви хотіли повернути Фабіо.
Fabio was a rising star. Cordona already knew of him, and you were not as popular. Your duo was coming to an end. He would have left you, and you were afraid of that. Since you believe in your gift, you thought you could revive him after death. And that time, he would have stayed with you.
That is not true. I was afraid of him leaving me, but I would never have hurt him.
Ви провели ритуал.
You knocked out Fabio with a bottle, you locked the door and placed him on the altar. You cast spells and pushed a blade between his ribs. The blood from his wound was used to draw symbols across his body and the room itself. You wanted to use your gift to resurrect him, but he failed to wake up. So you cleaned yourself up and left the room, realizing the full scale of what you'd done.
That's just wrong. I didn't do it. You didn't see what happened.
Then tell me, what did happen?
I don't know. I wasn't there. You weren't either.
Ваші синці.
You were there when Fabio was killed. He fought for his life and inflicted those bruises on your body, but you knocked him out eventually.
I was with the guests all the time. Manchios ordered me.
Вам потрібна медична допомога.
I can see that life hasn't been kind to you.
Але здається,
Since
вона не винна.
childhood, you have been used and abused. The guests
Але
at
хто його
Manchios
знає?
Mansion are not that different. And even if you think you are in control, such a life takes a heavy toll regardless. The only good thing you had in your life was Fabio. You were so frightened of losing him that you killed him. I believe your only chance for a normal life is to receive medical help. Psychiatrists will help you.
Others have always decided what my life should be. And you're no different, Mr. Holmes.
That is your only option, Matista. I'm afraid you can't choose.
А що, буде якась кінцівка, ні? Ще щось в покоях мислення є? Та все, я обрав. Погнали. Треба було зберегтись перед тим вручну, а не так.
It was Matista, Fabio's friend. All the evidence points to her. It is sadly the result of her traumatic past. She requires medical help. There can be no good in executing a person who has such an illness.
She doesn't look sick to me.
That's why the professionals should handle it.
I suppose you're right. It's still good enough for my promotion. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Сцени не покажуть, так? Ну, давай. А, тоді я не бачу сенсу міняти, так. Але треба підвищити поліціянта, тому давай завантажитись. 13:39, 13:37 давай. Засадимо, бо той теж маньячило, по ньому видно, що він маньячидне. Але вона окультистка. Вона реально окультистка, і з цим треба теж що робити, бо вона накоїть ще біди десь, це 100% інфа. Ай, вей. Знову шукати поліціянтів. А вони ось тут, не треба їх шукати.
He's even been putting up.
Помці. Ага, вбився. Сексуальний маньяк він. Помці. Шибениця. Провокаційний ритуал був відчайдушною спробою замаскувати вбивство. Я за не буде достатньо. Але ні, ніфіга. Він сексуальний маньяк, по ньому видно. Все. Бувай, маньячідло. Поїхали. Ну все, тому підвищення зробимо зараз. Ага, не тут. Ось тут. Все, тобі каюк.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So,
Це ти виходить.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel, he had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
Хе-хе. Ваші нігті. Любов виявилась невзаємною.
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
Ваші нігті.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned.
Ви інсценували ритуал.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
Це було умисне вбивство.
The young performer played with your emotions. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You struck him, and then you staged the ritual. You planted the letter in Vogel's pocket and attempted to set up Matista.
What poppycock? Sherlock, stop this game now.
There is no stop word, Mr. Manchios. Relax and enjoy it. I'll pass the remainder of this case to Constable Oswald. He'll know what to do with you.
Було б прикольно, якби він зараз ухопив Шерлока і почав його лупити. Ну, типу, це було б реалістично. Але я розумію, що він цього не зробив, бо тут купа поліції. Отримуй свою зірочку, пане.
Kurt Manchios,
Is that so? The master of the Sabbath?
the man himself. Mr. Manchios couldn't stand to lose control over his lover. A deadly revenge that deserves a proper sentence. I have all the evidence to charge him.
A degenerate and a murderer. I'll make a name thanks to that for sure. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Так, де папери? Алло, папери де? Паперів нема. Ви можете забрати папери, яких нема. Ага, ось. Звіт номер 0743. Офіцери, що прибули на місце, знайшли померлу особу, якої встановлено як пані Вайлет Холмс. У садку Стоундівського маєтку за результатами візуального огляду було встановлено, що одяг жертви повністю промокнув. На горлі було виявлений глибокий вертикальний розріз довжиною 5 см. Її обличчя було набрякле та вкрите червоними плямами. Імовірна причина смерті – гіпоксія. Очікується підтвердження судово-медичного експерта. Головного підозрюваного Отто Ріхтера було заарештовано на місці злочину. Тіло доправили на автопсію. О, курва. А, ну так, він намагався їй допомогти, тому розрізав їй горло, бо вона задихалась чи щось такого. Я десь бачу. Опа, ніфіга собі, оце, да, ФПС-ку вкрав Отто.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's
Yeah,
where it
for
all
sure.
happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
Та, як ти скажеш, так і буде. Опа,
Oh, you
па-па-па.
did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
Це прийнятна розв'язка.
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Я вільний! Не треба мене повчати. Я не зовсім вільний. Я вільний!
Oh, yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can make our own decisions. That's what I fight for.
And what an endless fight it is. Will you ever give yourself a break, Sherlock? You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
З рейок потяг з'їде в наступній частині. Бо там буде механіка дуріння. Не дуріння, як це сказати. З'їжджання даху. Ну, Так, обіцяли Фрогверс. О, ти хто? Турок. На туркові ми і закінчимо. Дякую, що дивились. Побачимось в інших місцях інтернетів. Пока.